a reading of Sagittarius in your astrological chart. All the information looking for is in the description box down below. Thanks so much for supporting Sikiksyd. The personal reading information is in the description box down below next to the butterfly. What is Sagittarius' biggest hidden desire? You have the ring. Ace of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, 25, breaking down into a 7. Libra, agreement, pact, cycle, contract, partnership, trust, alliance, commit, circular, continuing on, closure, promise, and bond. This represents the beginning of a new relationship. So if you're single, you desire to get into a new relationship. If you're in a relationship, you desire to take your relationship to another level and get engaged. All right? And truly see, is this something that you both mutually want? Right? That is what you desire. It's commitment. It's a relationship. It's to have a successful partnership. Is to have the birth of a boy for a lot of you if you're capable of having children. A lot of you also desire a new job. You want a new job to commit to. All right. 2 of Wands. Fool. Chariot. A lot of you are looking to leave behind a relationship. Yeah, you have dual loyalty to 2 people. One is all about sex, and you're ready to end a relationship that you've been juggling. Because whoever you're dealing with, the 2 of Pentacles, whoever you're dealing with is cheating. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. But you don't see that. You guys don't see that both of you are looking outside of the relationship. Capricorn, Sagittarius, Taurus, Virgo, with the Queen of Pentacles, and Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, with the King of Pentacles, and the 8 of Swords is Gemini and Jupiter. Both of you, if there's a relationship here, there are 2 people cheating, not one. There's 2 people doing it. Yeah, there's a lot of jealousy in the relationship and feeling like it's not meant to be. You guys can't even look at each other. These are 2 people. If there's a relationship, you would only be in a relationship for the money. Okay? There would be health problems, like you're either underweight or overweight. There could be abuse in parenting, like abusive parenting. Someone's getting arrested. This can also get up a case where people are getting arrested for child abuse, child neglect, fraud, being scammers. The Queen of Pentacles is also symbolizing somebody who works in the military, someone who works in the government, somebody who works in philosophy, psychology, spirituality. Money could work in, this could be health, religion, right? This could be like a business owner. This is also with the King of Pentacles, business owner. This is also both people, there's a lack of fertility. So either you both don't want to have children with each other, or you cannot have children with each other because like the way that destiny set it up. Okay, King of Pentacles works with literature, he works with books, he works with sports, athletes, children. He also works in the military, the government. He works with finances, taxes, loans, and assets. Books, can work with money, can work with health, esoteric, occult, magic, government, military. It's like you guys both look at the positive of the relationship, but it makes you feel entrapped even physically because he looks like he's trying to get outside of his own like diaphragm. There's a bit of victim mentality, feeling like you're stuck. So you could be financially stuck in the situation. You could own a car together for some of you. Others of you, it's the fact that both of you don't, like, okay, if this is a relationship, you would thrive on the fact that both of you do not know your own worth. Ooh, my ears are ringing. The fact that you both don't know your own worth and that you allow each other to have victim mentality, whether that's about employment, whether that's about financial, emotional, or even physical worth. Because these would be two people who do not take care of themselves, therefore there is an result of being unattractive. Okay? Because they're not taking care of themselves on purpose, though. And there's a victim mentality about not taking care of yourself when you're responsible for taking care of your own health. There could also be like absentee fathers or mothers. That is the hidden energy, though. In a relationship, this is hidden. You guys are not acknowledging this for whatever reason, that both of you are cheating on each other. Both of these people are not faithful to the relationship. But it's about, like, I want to look at all the positives of it because it's short term. Because there was a sense of both of you were looking for validation in the situation. You have Two of Wands, Aries, Scorpio, and the Two of Swords, Moon, and Libra. Okay? You may have been seeing 222 a lot. If you're seeing 222 a lot, there is a tower coming for you. There's a tower coming for you. You may have Aquarius, Aries, Scorpio. I also see Venus and Scorpio here. Okay. Cancer, Aries, Scorpio. Chariot, and you also have the Ace of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Ophiuchus. Okay. Two of Cups, Venus and Cancer could be Leo. Two of Pentacles, Capricorn and Jupiter, and Death, Scorpio. Okay, so if this is a relationship, there's a lot of hidden energy. Both people have multiple lovers. And I don't say that lightly. It's very rare for a reading to come out like this for me. Both people have more than one lover because it's based off of jealousy. It's based off of wanting to have multiple people because they're bored with whoever they're dealing with. Okay, they're just bored. There's a decision for some of you, like if you're in a relationship, you're looking at other love options, but they're at a distance with the Two of Wands. And there's a lack of communication due to you having dual loyalty between two people. So your heart chakra is blocked off because third-party situations represent a lack of emotional availability. Therefore, neither relationship can succeed in that manner. And the lesson comes from the decision to choose oneself. I feel like you're realizing, because what I'm seeing here is the Fool. There's no confusion about, it's like what you've been fantasizing about is now your reality. So rather you were confused about, okay, how do I really feel about this relationship, or how do I really feel about a person? Rather, you know, if you're single, like, how do I really feel about somebody? That is being cleared. If it's a relationship, you're realizing that it's short term and it was based off of your own sense of need of validation. And based off of the fact that you don't want to do online dating with the Seven of Cups in reverse. You don't want to deal with multiple options. Anything confusing is not love. And because of that principle, you are very optimistic about love, but you're also very well aware that a lot of your relationships can start very fast and end just as quickly. And if you're in a relationship, this is a relationship that starts, you know, very quickly and ends just as quickly. Because it was based off of the need for validation. It wasn't based off of the need to be honest about who you are and connect to another individual on an even playing field, to elevate each other. It was based off of just the need to be validated. And because of that, if this is a relationship with the Chariot, somebody's leaving it behind because they're okay with going off on their own because they feel like it was based off of sex. They feel like it was based off of physicality and passion that doesn't last. This is also traveling. If there's a relationship here, what gets in the way of the relationship is the fact that somebody knows that they don't want to settle and they've been settling. Somebody knows they've been settling and that there's a better opportunity with the Two of Cups. And they don't have to know who the person is. It could be like, I just know that what's better for me is outside of what I'm currently in. And that can be like, okay, you're living in a state, you're living in a place, and you're like, I just know I'm meant to be somewhere else. I'm meant to move somewhere else. I'm meant to meet new people. I'm meant to experience something else. A relationship that you're in, right? Say you're in a relationship. You're a couple. You could be husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, they, whatever you want to connect towards. And you know you're settling in the relationship. And instead of staying in it and repeating a cycle you've already done before, you're doing something you've never done before and saying, I'm going to branch off and move forward on my own. Simply because this doesn't represent what I want to stand for. And you don't know what you're going to find out there. But you know you don't want to live in illusion. This is you living in victim mentality and illusion. That a relationship needs to be based off of purely money, or a relationship needs to be based off of us not being authentic with each other, or be based off of the fact that we don't love ourselves enough and we just want to be around somebody. And because of that, the Two of Cups comes in, and it's not who you thought. So if you've invested energy and effort into something, you're realizing you're okay. Like, say this is a relationship. The Chariot is like, I'm okay with going on my own. I'm okay with branching off on my own rather than dealing with something that's an illusion. Why would I invest in that? If this is a relationship, you're having difficulty to invest in it because you know it is an illusion. And that's something that, because it's earth energy, neither person can deny. And it forces you to move forward emotionally towards real love. And this can mean you start dating again for some of you. It can also be like someone can't get pregnant. Like if this is a relationship, someone's infertile. Both of you guys could be infertile. And it can symbolize that neither one of you are people who, you just can't have children. You're just not meant to have children with each other. It can be spiritual like that. I've seen it like that too, where two people are like, we're in perfect health. I've gotten pregnant with other people. With this person, I'm not getting pregnant. Then they end up, ending it with them whenever they end it. And they're like, why wasn't I able to have children with that particular person? It was spiritual. I've had to give closure to people who've had, miscarriages, abortions, different things of this nature, and they weren't able to understand, like they weren't even able to understand for themselves. Why was the baby not able to come to term? Why was this not able to come to reality? Why could I not have children with this person, but then I decided to be with this person and I can have a child? It's spiritual. Spiritually, certain things will not come into fruition because they know that two people cannot handle it. So why would I bring that into fruition, into creation? That's not a blessing. That would be a curse. Something else does not deserve to suffer simply because two people decide that they cannot release the sense of illusion that something's not working. And you could be going through a divorce, a breakup. You're the subject of gossip. It's like something is ending. It's almost like if this is a relationship, somebody's now saying like, there needs to be a decision made that I am the person that you give a ring to, right? Like we get married. Somebody's asking for marriage. Somebody's asking for relationship and commitment. And someone's saying, I would rather decide to go on my own because I feel like this isn't what I want. And if my heart is in two places, that represents that you're not a priority. You're an option. A lot of people try to figure out, how do I know that I'm important to somebody? Right? Say you're in a relationship, say you're single, whatever. How do I know? Well, if you are a priority, then you will never be an option. That's how you know that there is love. Because you're not going to be an option, you're going to be the priority. There is no decision. Even in the Men in Black, there really was no option. They had a bunch of other people flimming around them, but at the end of the day, when he was able to figure out how each test worked out for himself, he was the decision from the get. That's the same thing. So, like, it could be somebody saying, look, I really want commitment. Where is this going? I don't want to live in illusion anymore. I don't want to be in something simply because I feel like I'm not going to attract anybody because I'm overweight or I'm unhealthy or whatever. Or I'm not financially stable, or I just really want to be with somebody for money. But it's about, you know, you really want to be with somebody for love. And when somebody realizes, oh, this is really not going anywhere, I'm not feeling it and you're not feeling it, but neither one of us are saying it because we're not saying it. We're not saying it. We're not saying it. Because we don't want to be talked about by other people. We don't want to be talked about by other people. We don't want other people to say, you know, oh, that didn't work. Even though it would lead you to independent victory and to finding a relationship where two people do know how to have a relationship and believe in relationships. And it doesn't have to mean that you don't know how to do that. It just may mean that the other person has a different interpretation of what relationship represents. Because I see two people deciding to leave a relationship. So if you're in a relationship, I see you ending it or being in it for the money. Being in it because there's no self-worth or self-value, and someone could be going to jail here. This could be like two people going, if this is a couple, you guys could be going to jail over something to do with money. Over something to do with money, whether it was like scamming or whatever, if you're in a business together. There is a relationship beginning. So if you're single, I see you getting into a connection, a relationship, a dynamic where you guys are on the same page, okay? But only because there's somebody coming towards you that realized that if there was a connection, it was based off of making somebody feel better by being connected to that individual. Meaning, like, they gain something by being connected to that person. Notoriety. And someone's willing to go their own way. This is so for some of you, it could be a long distance relationship. Someone's like, I'm willing to just go my own way. Rather, it's somebody feels stuck in a relationship, like I'm stuck in a relationship where we're not attracted to each other, or we're only in it for money, or we're just in it because we don't really love each other, right? It's like you're not getting involved in that. Because the truth is, you know, we all make our own decisions, and if you're in a commitment or a connection or relationship that's purely based off of the fact that you don't love yourself enough, or there's money involved or whatever, then that's your own personal decision, and that's not for anybody else to judge. That's for you to decide if that's worth it for you or not. Anybody else's opinion doesn't matter. But that's not something I'm seeing you decide to be involved in. It's like a level of acceptance has also kicked in, because with death, Scorpio, if there's a relationship, the feminine energy was a replacement for the masculine energy's need for a mother. It was a replacement for a mother, essentially. So the intimacy has died in a relationship. And that's why it's ending. There is no intimacy. There's erectile dysfunction, or somebody's looking at other options, but it's at a distance. Someone's okay with going their own way. Because they're like, I feel like even in this connection, I don't know myself, or this connection is not going the way that I want. I'm going to move forward. And what you decide to do is completely up to you, but I'm going to continue to move forward because I understand that I am not the one for you. I'm not the decision. When it comes to you picking me or another individual, automatically, I'm no longer a priority. I'm just an option. Therefore, I was never marriage material for you. It was just an option. And when you accept that that's not who you are, but that was how you are perceived. There's an acceptance that it's okay to move forward. The hearse, right? You get in the car and you're like, it's okay to move forward. A lot lighter. And to know that you chose you, right? I feel like a lot of you are juggling Capricorn and Jupiter. You're like juggling. Do I want to keep a relationship I'm not happy in, right? Or we're staying in for the wrong reasons, although neither one of us wants to admit it because there's a level of stubbornness due to the earth energy, and it can also be very demonic. Okay? Or do I want to be free and not know who I am in the sense of freedom and head off into the abyss and realize that I come across this where if you're single, you're no longer going to be single. Scorpionic energy. Only because you look within yourself. Not just in what you were ingesting through music or literature or people, places, and things, but you looked at what you were telling yourself. And there was a resurrection. I feel like a lot of you may work multiple jobs. Somebody has been trying to choose and delaying a decision about do they want to keep a life that doesn't feel right for them, but they may be, involved in, but they're rejecting love. They're rejecting how they really feel. Or do they want to decide to sneak away from something? And in that process, they would be the subject of gossip for leaving behind something that didn't make them happy. They'd have to take time away from social media. But who they would be heading towards would be somebody who would be very loving. There would be no drama. And there would be a lot of fulfillment, especially emotionally. Somebody who would have their best intentions at heart. I say that because you have the Queen of Cups coming out here. And you have the Sun. And you have the Magician. Gemini, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Leo, Gemini, Aries, Virgo, Scorpio. The Queen of Cups can be a psychic, can be someone who works in prisons, institutions, and asylums, finances, taxes, loans, and assets, other people's money, the esoteric, the occult, magic. Can also be somebody who even works with realty for a lot of you. Someone could be pregnant with a boy. Someone also works with cars. They could be a mechanic. Someone's also creating a new app or working with finances or like international trade or money. Someone works in sales or communication. Also, if this is a relationship, there's a lot of jealousy because somebody feels like somebody matches everything that they want and they feel like that person also seeks a level of validation from other people or vice versa. If there's a relationship, there's also a level of it being drama-free, but you could be falling in love with your partner all over again. If you are single, somebody is falling, and like not even falling, it's like being in love. So if you're in a relationship, you could be being in love and all over again with your spouse, and if you're single, someone is going to be in love with you. It's like at first sight. You're very drama-free, you have the best intentions at heart for other individuals, and you are emotionally stable with the Queen of Cups. You're guided by your heart. Somebody's coming into your life that matches everything that you seek in a partner. They want you to be the best you that you can be as well. You're very emotionally intelligent, emotionally balanced, and very accepting of who you are or what you've experienced. It's like you're very healed, very healed. What is the hidden truth? Of Sagittarius' soul. How could I hurt someone so beautiful? How could I hurt someone so beautiful? For one, a lot of you guys love what you do because the sun represents like you love your job. You may work with children for some of you. A lot of you are realizing that there's nothing personal to take away from your experiences besides the lesson learned. That's all. This is about loving you and putting you first towards what would make you happy as you move forward in your journey. A lot of you are relocating. The hidden truth of your soul is that you realize, how could you hurt someone so beautiful? I mean, the magician, it literally looks like Frankenstein. What happened in the book Frankenstein? I read the book Frankenstein in my sophomore year when I was on the East Coast at Virginia State University. I remember I was rushing to class, and it was literature. Before I would head to my science class, it was a lab, and I remember in that class we were talking at the time about Frankenstein. And I'm like, oh, you know, what's so significant about Frankenstein? For me, I'm like, oh, it's a movie, the guy's brain, he runs around with little knobs in his head, like, what could be so significant? And that semester we focused solely on, I would be rushing from class to practice to whatever, to my dorm to just eat freaking Cajun boiling crab chips and ice cream. And in that class we focused on Frankenstein, that he created, right? Frankenstein. He like, it was created. The monster, the creature was created against its will. And through that process, it was rejected because it was different. It was rejected because it didn't necessarily come across normal to other people. It wasn't something that they normally saw. It was different. It was unique. It was an individual. It didn't ask to be born. And in some cases, it was considered abomination because it was not created from a feminine force. It's created solely from a man. There's a sense of joy and brilliance to look at the hypermasculinization of technology. But the beauty and the essence of what is the unseen and the femininity that comes from a woman is godly. I feel like that's being recognized. The creature didn't ask to be born. And, you know, the actual creator was not able to take care of the creature, was not able to give it love. Didn't understand that when you create something, when you give life to something, you have to nurture it, you have to love it in order for it to grow. You can't just put a seed in the ground and expect it to do something. You got to give it love and care and water and soil and sun. You have to give it a safe environment to feel like, you know, it's okay for you to be vulnerable. It's okay for you to express yourself. It's okay. It's okay. You're safe. And a lot of times we experience so many different things as a little germinal seed, we expect that nobody will care. Because no one ever has. The world doesn't owe you anything. You owe it to yourself. It's like putting yourself in the ground and allowing yourself to grow. That's what the creature realized. It wasn't necessarily anymore about trying to be loved by something, but by realizing that the love started within itself. But no one wanted to teach it that. Because if it knew that, it would have power. Just like if you knew you were God. From your perspective, your universe, why do you think it revolves around you? You're not just a part of the universe, but you're the creator of your own universe. And if you knew that, then you would realize you're God. So why doesn't anyone want you to know that? Because you'll change, not just physically, but psychologically. Which is what Scorpio represents. Scorpio represents psychological death. If we can show it here. Hold on. It represents psychological death. Physical death as well. That's why Scorpio is liable to kill you psychologically or even physically. Somebody died in a helicopter crash. Let me see in the helicopter. What are the blockages of each lifetime Sagittarius is facing? You could have died in like a helicopter crash or like a plane crash. You know, I watched a documentary maybe a week or two ago about a plane that crashed on Friday the 13th. They crashed. And what they ended up doing was eating the people who had died. Can you imagine? Literally eating your loved ones, the people that you travel with, the people that you grew up with, but you're eating them because you have nothing else to eat in a place where it is ice cold and there's no civilization. What are you willing to do when you want to live? That's the real question. Survival. And do we choose survival or do we choose being genius? Do we choose to do things in a way that we've never done it before just because we know that it's been done that way doesn't mean that we can't do things differently. Do things differently, almost like you've been reborn. Coming from the heart, not the head. Not coming from illusion or passion, but coming from one's own heart. And willingness to do something different. And willingness to say, I don't want to do the same patterns. And because of that, you have warmongering Aries. War. Your blockage in each lifetime has been war. Has been a sense of temper, impulsiveness, inconstancy. That's been your blockage every lifetime. Aries was the Greek god of war, and he was known for his obstinate fury and brutal courage. However, such was his blind rage that he did not often win the battle. His aggression prevented him from thinking things through, and he lacked the wisdom of cool assessment. There may be hot-headed anger or warmongering around you now. Maybe you or someone else is acting in a furious manner and is not stopping to consider what the consequences may be. Perhaps some time out might be sensible. It is not enough to simply hold frustration in, and physically exhausting exercise is the right way to appropriately channel rage. Anger is best released through sporty muscular activity. Wrath can be a potent driving force, which achieves a result when all else has failed. Properly directed, rage can punch things through, but be sure you are doing the right thing. I see there is a Gemini upset. You also have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands in reverse. So there is anger, and you're taking back a proposal from your lover. So if you're in a relationship, there is like an anger that you can't travel. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. You also have Aquarius, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There's also rejection or a liking of the same sex, or you are taking back your proposal and your love from your spouse. You could also be cheating. The Knight of Cups could be a pathological liar, a serial cheater. But the Lovers in reverse would represent that you would be telling somebody that you don't want to be their partner anymore. Their boyfriend, their husband, their significant other. There's a rejection. You're rejecting the person you're in a relationship with emotionally and sexually. You could be arguing with them, fighting with them. There's a separation, there's frequent disputes, and I see you cursing your partner out. They could also be overindulging. And there's another woman here, the Queen of Wands, that you're watching from another profile. You could be a Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, getting out of the Ten of Pentacles, which would mean that you'd be getting out of a long-term relationship or connection. Mercury and Virgo, the Ten of Pentacles, is also being in a relationship for money. You could be living with somebody, or there's a family fighting over like wills, trust funds, inheritances. And there's a lot of arguing, right, in family. Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. You can feel like you know everything. I also see a lot of you are just getting out of a relationship. It's like a mutual decision to do it, though. And there's the Queen of Wands, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Fuchsias. The Queen of Wands is a witch, can be a tarot card reader, a psychic, someone who has a vision, could be a healer, someone who works in prisons, institutions, and asylums, finances, taxes, loans, assets, other people's money, the esoteric, the occult, magic. You're watching this person. The Queen of Wands can also work in philosophy, psychology, spirituality. Children, can be an athlete, can work with like the esoteric and the occult. This is also someone who the party does not start until they walk into the room. There's also a very healing nature because they look like a nurse. I feel like you're very angry with whatever you're dealing with in your general environment, and this can be your home, your work, and this can also be your relationship. If you're in a relationship, I feel like if you're in a relationship, you guys are fighting because the King and Queen of Pentacles came out here. You may also adore whoever you're in a relationship with, but if you are single, a lot of people adore you. Okay? A lot of people adore you. If you're in a relationship, you seek to be adored by your partner, but there's just a lack of attraction because there's another individual, another person. Okay? And if you are single, a lot of people are interested in you. You're a social butterfly. And she will not be in a commitment or a connection where she's not being fawned all over. So if you're single, then you're being fawned all over by multiple people, like just from the universe, just from the people you're encountering. You're very attractive, you're standing in your power, and you're very independent. Okay? So someone is crawling away from a relationship, like they're crawling out. He's literally crawling on the ground. It could be financially draining both of you. My nose is itching when I just said that. Someone could be like, look, we're either staying in the relationship and we get married, or we're leading towards that because there's no purpose for us to be in a connection if we're not getting married, or we get out of the connection and we move forward on our own way and our own crap, and we do our own thing. Someone's going their own way. Someone's been self-sabotaging something because they want an out, but it's been financially providing. Someone is choosing love. They're choosing themselves, to love themselves enough to know that they deserve more than a connection that's based off of money, lies, competition. It's very competitive in nature in the relationship regarding career and money. Passion, stability, there's no creativity, there's moodiness, there's jealousy, there's jumping to conclusions. This is not watched over from above. This is like there's a lot of jealousy in the relationship and a lot of arguing and multiple lovers involved because both people are cheating, but they aren't admitting to it. There's other people sexually, emotionally, and mentally or psychologically. Okay? All right. So this has been your reading. And if you'd like a personal reading, information is in the description box down below next to the butterfly. Some of you work in the esoteric, the occult, finances, taxes, loans, assets, other people's money, philosophy, psychology, spirituality, military, government. You can work in the military, the government, emotions, psychology, philosophy, spirituality, esoteric, occult, finances, taxes, loans, assets, other people's money, prisons, institutions, and asylums. You could be in the military, you could be in the government, you could be a lawyer, a doctor, or a teacher. Okay? I say, Aries. I'll say.